light allows people a release for all the hatred and violence that they keep up inside them.
Why don't you guys kill someone tonight?
Because we don't feel the need to, Johnny.
Just remember all the good the Purge does.
We'll be fine just like always. No worries, okay?
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Ciao, ciao.
This week, we're discussing the horror classic, The Purge, with Ethan Hawke, Lena Headey, and others, and all the rest. Each week,
I wasn't even sure if that was Ethan Hawke. I thought it was like Ethan Hawke's brother at first, but I guess this movie's kind of old.
Could be. It's 10 years old. It's just over 10 years old. Each week on the podcast that wouldn't die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genre with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's up with you?
I'm exhausted.
Why are you exhausted?
I mean, day drinking's nice, and it can be quite enjoyable, especially if you can work a nap into it. But it's hard to do that like 4 days in a row. I'm just saying, it's hard, especially when you don't drink any water, because eventually your pee just looks like a Werther's original.
That's lovely. Our audience has no idea why you're day drinking. Are you admitting alcoholism, or would you like to tell them why you were day drinking for 4 days in a row?
I was in San Francisco for a couple of days for PolaCon, Bay Area PolaCon, or PolaCon Bay Area, where
pole dancing.
Walks. We went to pole dancing. Get out of here. We went to Alcatraz to take instant film. So it's Instax, it's Polaroid, it's whatever instant. Plus, people bring all the other cameras. And then the next day we went through Haight-Ashbury and out for pizza, and then through Chinatown, and we went to the Leica store. Then the next day, it's just the day after. It's a solid 12 hours of walking, taking a picture, drinking a beer. Walk a little bit more, take another picture, have another beer. And it was St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Now, did you fly solo? I know you met up with thousands of 35-year-old men wherever you went, but did you?
As you may have guessed, when you think it's going to be a bunch of photographers, what comes to your mind? A lot of young gals with their cameras?
No, not so much.
A lot of young guys, mid to late 30s, dressed in black, listening to
Robert Mapplethorpe is what you got by the bushel.
I mean, it is the Bay Area too, so there's a mix of everybody, but it does skew on the younger masculine side. There were a good handful of women this time.
Okay.
But there's always like people's models and people's girlfriends who are there just to, lean against the wall so the guys can take their pictures.
Interesting. I would have no idea. Go ahead.
We need to have like some scantily clad young men there posing.
Dressed up like Depeche Mode with a lot of leather and straps.
Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be amazing? Like some low hip rising. But Aaron can go for a bear too. So whatever you got, bring your lumberjack out too.
Paul Bunyan. Interesting. Good times.
I mean, really, if you have men, that really appeals to a larger crowd.
Interesting. I was gonna say, I don't know the inner workings of the underworld that is the instant camera sect. So who's to say?
Such a good time, and people are so lovely. You're a stranger, and I think this is a Bay Area thing.
Okay.
People in LA are much more douchery. You go to this thing, you just walk up and talk to strangers because everybody has a camera that they've done something weird to it, and they're more than happy to spend an hour talking to you.
That's what they say. That's kind of a Northern California kind of thing, right? That attitude.
NorCal is much friendlier than SoCal.
And it's genuine and authentic, opposed to
and authentic. Like I said, more culture, less douchery.
Interesting. Now, this kind of leads me to the evil smiles we see in The Purge. The smiles where there's daggers in men's smiles, if you will, right?
Yeah, interesting. The Purge.
Give us your 30-second synopsis. Hit
I
me.
thought it would go to my grave before I saw The Purge, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
You thought it was gonna be like an Eli Roth kind of thing,
I
or
thought it was gonna be
Saw?
a little more Eli Roth. I mean, it's depressing. It's basically, America under Trump out of control. And to cleanse their wanton bloodlust, one day a year you're allowed to go around and guess and kill the poor. Is that what it is? It's kill, 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 kill. It's a Dead Kennedy song, kill the poor, because the rich people, I'm guessing, for the most part, are kind of locked up in the safe.
Well, they kind of talk about. I mean, is that your 30-second synopsis, or can I respond?
Yeah,
Or
twist, twist, twist at the end. Americans are good. The end.
so yeah. It's basically for once a year for a 24-hour period. The
12.
crimes you can do any
12-hour
crime.
period.
Is it 12? 12. You're
7 to
absolutely right. 7 to
yeah,
7.
7 to
12-hour
7.
period. All crimes are legal. All crimes are legal. What they've discovered is that after doing this for 10 years or whatever, crime is at like 1% and homelessness is way down and blah, 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 blah,
Because
blah.
people are killing them. People
They
are killing the
said,
homeless. They're killing the poor.
right.
So, you know, the
That's somebody.
rich thieves can lock themselves up. Now, if I were these people, I would have gotten a refund on my home security, because the basic idea is I can just hook up my truck to this and now you have no security. That seems like not a good deal.
Well, Ethan Hawke's the one selling them, the security
Exactly.
system. So, well, he says the idea is it looks formidable. And against, most kind of
I
low
don't
level
want looks
threats.
formidable.
Right.
I want is formidable. In fact, before I even knew what was going on, because I didn't know anything about it except for
Oh, really?
the
You're going
trailers.
totally cold. Okay.
I assumed there would be another level just in case,
What do you mean? Like a safe room or
like
a panic
a
room?
safe room or a bunker to back this up. So I was
Why
waiting.
wasn't there? Why wasn't there? That would have been the easiest thing in the world, is to have like a panic room.
I have a panic room when things
Yes.
go shady, because all you have to do is walk into the control room and push a button and it's all over. You don't even have to put in a secret code. You just put some jib jab. Even their child knew the combination was letting people in. So that room should have been the next layer of protection.
No question. Let me say this. So this is interesting. Neither one of us had seen this movie before.
Oh, you've
I had
never seen this before?
I'd never seen
My
it.
son marched around the house going, "The Purge 2 is 1,000 times better."
And evidently they've made like 4 or 5 sequels since this. I don't think Ethan Hawke, spoiler alert, he's dead. So I don't think he comes back to any of the sequels. And I think it's like a different story, a different family or whatever. It's like, it's not a direct continuation, but it's like the same universe, a world where the Purge exists,
Right.
essentially. And if you're looking at it, there are absolutely kind of right wing kind of undercurrents. Like, it's a critique of this kind of, because they talk about how, in 2012 or whatever it was, they elected whoever, and now they are referred to as the new founding fathers.
Right.
They're the new founding fathers who've done all these things.
It's Marjorie Taylor, it's Donald Trump,
100%,
and all the little Trumpling boys.
Absolutely. So that's the thing. And there's a talk radio thing where Ethan Hawke's driving home, and somebody on the radio is like, the people who are hurt by this the most are the poor, because they can't afford to have bunkers that they're just like, so that's the thing. Like, perhaps
it's the most
intending
dangerous game. I mean, if you were rich and you wanted to go out, you're just gonna go, where are you gonna go? You're gonna hunt the other rich? I guess you could.
Well, and that's kind of, they talk about that in this
vulnerable
movie.
Yeah.
Well, and they even said, like, no one above a certain political station, like, you couldn't like target
hunt
like
the president.
Right. You couldn't, that's against the rules. That's off limits.
And what happens
But
if you break the rules? Are people there monitoring? Because the police aren't going to go out.
well, but again, if you're just some dude attacking the White House, I mean, there's still Secret Service or whatever. I mean, good luck.
I
I don't know.
guess. I guess.
But yes, it's and later in the movie, since we're just jumping right in, later in the movie, the son who acts like this is the first purge that he's ever been in, right? He's even though he's what is he 12? Clearly,
Right.
you have some memory of previous purges. It shouldn't have been like what's all this? I don't know anything about it. He lets in some guy who was like a homeless guy on the run from like a gang of killers. Um, and then, of course, the kind of the Hitler Youth, the Proud Boy leader, is knocking on the door saying, "Hey, we're not here for you. You know, our whole purge is to kill the homeless. That's why we're doing this. So just let them out. We're cool. Don't make us kill one of our own," kind of thing.
I never believed they were one of our own, but
He was
yeah, I
wearing kind
mean,
of a prep school blazer and a little crest on
I
the
don't know if
pocket.
you know this, but you can buy that shit at
Don't know that.
Salvation Army.
I disagree.
I thought they were more Manson family. They were definitely doing their hippy dippy dances and shit like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely. That was a influence for this movie is the Manson family, no question.
No,
So
100%. Did you have any doubt in your mind when you saw the boyfriend after a lockdown that he was there to kill the dad?
oh
Was
no
there
question.
any doubt?
No question. She's so the boy yes, the daughter who how old do you think the daughter's supposed to be?
Well,
Right?
she looks 25, so I'm sure she's supposed to be 15 or something.
That's the thing.
14.
She ain't 17, right? So it's not
Right.
like I'm a 17-year-old dating an 18-year-old. There's some supposed to be some sort of age difference, right? They're full on going for it in the bedroom, but I guess they live in a palatial mansion. So people are getting lost in there through half the movie. Where is Zoe? I don't know. She could be anywhere in these 50 rooms.
And quite frankly, it didn't look like a mansion. Once you got
From
inside there, it looked like there was like 4 rooms.
it looked like a pretty standard kind of gated community house,
Yeah,
which is
some
nice.
bullshit Orange County gated community, blah de blah.
McMansion, yeah,
McMansion.
which is again, it's nice, but from the outside, though, oh, you added a new wing. Interesting. Like it looked like
What wing was that? There was still some shitty like cutout in the closet where the kid went and hid. That didn't look Sopranos to me.
this looked like this was filmed in Palm Desert. If I'm being honest, am I wrong? In a gated
Is it on
community, you see the mountain in the background. Absolutely.
Was there a golf course somewhere in the background?
There must have been. There must have been. But and the thing about this movie is like, let's say the purge really occurred. Maybe I'm idealistic, rose-colored glasses. I think there would be a lot more like looting than just murder. Am I crazy? I mean, I think people would go like, I'm hitting the Best Buy. I'm grabbing some flat screen TVs. And there would be killers, obviously, because there's always psychos. But I can't imagine it would be like everybody's a killer.
Right.
You know what? That guy, I'm pissed off at my boss, so I'm going to kill them on the purge night. Am I crazy?
I have to assume that there's some rule. You're only allowed to commit murder.
No, it's any crime.
Rape. Oh, any crime.
Any crime.
They only focused on murder.
In this movie, all people wanted to do, people who were partaking of the purge, was random acts of murder. Is what people were down for. That's why I'm here.
That's what they wanted to emphasize because any crime is legal, including murder. Well, you had that covered when you said any crime.
Right. 100%.
What about just mayhem? Is that okay? Any crime
vandalism
and murder. What about
jaywalking?
Vandalism? What if I want to pickpocket? I want to steal people's gold watches. Any crime.
So there's a murderer on the street. I want to get real close and pick his pocket and hope he doesn't notice.
I'm just going to follow murderers around and I'm going to steal dead people's socks. Is that okay?
That is 100%. That's encouraged, in fact.
Including murder.
Including up to and including murder is what it is.
God.
But
I don't know.
mean,
Maybe in April they have Rape Day or something. I don't know.
rape is under this umbrella.
Oh,
Okay.
any crime?
And
Any
you
crime
know
you
what?
say?
I know you have some questions about this, but I have to say, any crime. If
Oh.
I haven't read the script, but I believe that was the inference. So
What if I just want to stick my dick in somebody's soup before it goes out? Is that okay? Any crime?
I don't know if it's okay. How hot's that soup? Because again, there's no emergency
It's a
medical
Vichy
services.
squaw. I don't know if
Well,
that's better. Would it be better if it was very highly chilled?
can we say the idea of cold potato soup is the most awful idea I have ever freaking
I
heard
think
in the
it's
world?
Russian, so I'm sure Putin invented it.
Vichy soie is cold potato. You can look. If you go to a restaurant and they serve Vichy soie, you could say, throw that shit in the microwave for me. Get 2.5, 3 minutes.
Same with
But
gazpacho.
is
It's not
gazpacho
refreshing.
cold? I don't think
Yes.
gazpacho's cold. Is it really?
Yes.
God
Yes.
damn. Who eats cold soup? That's
People
a
who
crime.
live in hot areas, I guess.
So during the purge, you can eat cold soup and it's okay
Well,
under
in
those
the
circumstances.
purge, you can take your cold soup and heat it up. It's a crime, but it's okay on that night.
On that night. Absolutely. And the thing about it is, like, there's in this movie, there are moments where people are like when she meets the neighbor across the street who gives her like, here's some cookies. I like that new wing. Your husband's done really well selling all of us the security systems. Really, you could say that we paid for that wing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's another security. I thought that was the weirdest thing. You made a choice to buy from them. I'm sure there must be another company. You could be in the Bahamas right now.
Yeah.
And have a cookie. Is there ground glass in the cookie? And we didn't invite you to the party because we bought a product from you that seems to be working.
Right. Right. It's a weird.
I bought my Toyota from you. Seems like
I'm
you're
mad at
doing
you.
well, you bastards.
Right. Yes. So it was very clear. If you ever borrowed somebody's lawnmower and didn't return it promptly, they're going to come
Purge.
and murder you. They're going to try to
Purge.
kill you because you pissed them off and that's the thing. It's like, look, people get pissed off from time to time. That's okay. That's part of the human condition. People are rude to each other from time to time. Does it have to go all the way to murder? Is my question.
There's something I feel like there's a piece of this puzzle we're not aware of where all the neighbors want to see you dead.
Yes.
What are you doing? Are you just waving your dick out the window every morning when they're trying to take a walk? Is your wife like sleeping with all the husbands? What is going on that everyone blatantly hates you and has no problem just like go to hell? Can't wait to kill you.
Right.
Off.
So in the climax, we are hip deep in the highlights. By the way, there was no special mention, but I want you guys to know we've moved on. We're in the highlights now. And in the climax, the neighbors show up and gun down the home invaders, and it's like, oh, thank God you're here. Well, don't thank me too quickly, Mary. You pissed me off last week, so now we're here. So there's literally three different families who are there to murder them, right? It's like two couples and the other dude down the street that Ethan Hawke said, hey, as he was driving by. We've always hated you, so we're here to kill you. You must be doing something wrong. If three separate groups.
Every freaking neighbor.
Yes.
And then they pretend to be nice to you. And first of all, it's super douchey that you have a purge party. It's like those people in Florida who have the hurricane parties. Remember Bodies, Bodies, Bodies? They were
yes, 100%. Right. That's the thing. So they were throwing a party, but Ethan Hawke's family wasn't invited. But they were like, she's kind of annoying anyway. Thank God she didn't invite us this year, was kind of their attitude. So, and I think I think we're supposed to think that this was just kind of a murder of opportunity, right? The psycho swept into town, ripped off the steel doors with ease, I might
Right.
add.
A little too
Uh,
easy.
a little too ease, and we're attacking the family. And then the neighbors are like, well, shit. I mean, we could, since the doors are open, we might as well go in there and commit some murders, right?
Right.
I mean, what else are we doing?
I would feel that they had to lower all the guards at their house to walk out,
Yes, they did. They
which
did.
doesn't make any effing sense. So for your little petty bullshit, you're allowing somebody else to come and whip through there if they wanted to.
Correct.
I
Well,
mean,
and
quite
that,
frankly, except for the Manson family, nobody was walking through their neighborhood during the purge.
no, there wasn't. Well, essentially, what happened? Okay, there was, like we said earlier, a homeless guy was running from a gang of killers, going, "Somebody help me! Somebody help me!" And the sweet son of Ethan Hawke hits the code and opens up the door and says, "Come here, come here." So he comes in, and you wonder if this is like part of a setup or it's like, ooh,
100%. Hundred
because
percent.
they let him in, and he like has the surliest look on his face. He isn't like, "Thank you." He's just like, ugh. Now maybe it's like this is the
It's like,
purge. So
now what? Right.
right, I don't know if you
I'm
invited
letting
me
you
in here to
in so I
murder
can kill
me.
you. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So I guess that makes sense. But it's like literally what happens is because they let that dude in, the Manson family shows up and says, "Hey, we talked to some of your neighbors and they gave us your name," which seemed kind of bizarre, Mr. Sandin. And we, word is that you took our quarry. You let that homeless guy in who we wanted to kill. So even though the streets are littered with homeless people, this is the one we want.
There's 20 of you. How did you let
Right.
the one guy run down the street in front of all of you? I think that was all a lie. No matter what, let's be clear.
Oh, you think?
Bring out
See,
the
I don't.
homeless man. Bring out the homeless. Don't bring out the homeless man. They were coming for him.
Maybe,
I think
maybe
it was a bunch of shit. They were going
could be.
down one way or the other.
So all this shit's going down. You get the homeless. They let the homeless man in. Meanwhile, 18-year-old boyfriend, borderline pedophile, has
It was
snuck
the
in.
boyfriend from the Frighteners. It was
Yes.
I can't remember who the real life psycho natural born killers.
Who are you talking? Are you talking about Woody Harrelson?
Yes, it's Woody Harrelson
Oh yes,
and what's her face? Because
Julia Lewis.
I thought for sure the daughter was in on this shit.
Well, it seemed like it, right? She's
Yeah.
like, "You need to go home before lockdown," but he didn't. I guess he was hiding behind a curtain or something. And it's literally like, I just wanted to have a heart to heart with your dad because I know he forbade us for seeing each other because evidently we are we are at least 8 years age difference, although you're clearly 25. And
He just had
immediately,
repeat classes a couple times.
absolutely. So he comes out and he just starts shooting at Ethan Hawke. "Oh, we can be together after I murder your father," kind of thing.
That makes
But
sense.
Ethan Hawke is like Wyatt Earp. I mean, just quick on the draw. Boom. Takes care of the boyfriend, but there's remorse. He feels
Yeah,
kind of bummed
anyone
about it.
who lives in the time of the purge has clearly gone through like Khal McGraw. They've Israeli defense training. Everyone,
Absolutely.
soccer moms, they know how to wield the guns. They're packing heat.
Well, and the son earlier in the movie turns to Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey, who's the mom, and basically just says, "How come you guys don't go out and kill people?" And he's like, "We just don't feel the need to." And I'm like, that makes sense. But the thing about it is he says that, but he also says, "But we support it." Or he says
Here's
it.
the story. I
Lay it on
think
me.
this is one of those like I'm a German, but I'm not a Nazi. I'm living in Russia, but I'm not a communist. You have to be seen to support this. So the neighbors, you have to put out flowers up front to support
Oh,
it.
right, right,
You
right,
should,
right.
like the Hitler Youth would report their parents if it was
Yeah.
seen that they were not supporting it. I got that vibe.
Okay. Interesting.
they
Did
they
you
they were against it without blatantly being against it,
well
which is the same as being for it.
it's you're right. It's not what you think, it's what you do.
Exactly.
But Ethan Hawke has kind of a change of heart over the course of the movie, whereas Lena
He
Headey
was
seemed
shamed. He was
right,
shamed by
right,
his wife and child. Like, you're acting like a monster. You're acting like them. If
yes,
they were not there, he would have returned to his natural state and be purging left the right. It's men
ooh.
unsupervised. That's what it is.
Well, what did they exactly? We cannot be left to our own devices. Uh, yeah, because the guy's like, just give us the homeless dude, and we'll let you guys go. Otherwise, we will be able to get in. Boom. And they've got him tied up, the homeless dude, like duct taped to a chair, and it seems like Lena Headey is like stabbing him with a like a letter opener or something, or pressing on a wound he's got or something.
He said, "Get the letter opener."
Yes, she's
So
stabbing him. Am I
she's
crazy?
well, because then it looked like she was just pushing it with her thumb. So I don't know what was going. Either way, the point was to get him to comply.
Right, right.
Cause much suffering, get him to comply.
Because they're all set to toss his ass out, but of course,
Right.
the kids are like, "No, we can't do that." The wife is like, "Honey, what have we become? What's
We're
going on?"
monsters. We're
And
monsters.
he kind of snaps out of his homicidal rage. He's like, "Okay, I guess I won't throw you to the." He doesn't untie him though. He's just like, "You can stay tied up in this chair, and now we're just gonna have a home
So
invasion."
you believed that the Manson family only wanted the homeless dude,
The Tates and the
the
Bianchis.
Tates. Yeah, they just wanted to get a cup of coffee and borrow the phone.
That's what it was.
Come
Could
on
be.
in.
Come
Yeah,
right in. Absolutely.
there was too many, and they were too weird. It's all a lie.
It was
But
kind
they
of
had
a
hours to fortify. Well, I
oh,
guess
they
you
did.
assumed you were fortified, but you would think some of this shit would have been tested.
Now, here's the thing about this
I
movie.
mean, it's literally 13 ghosts, and that level of fortress. It kept the ghosts in, but it can't keep the Manson family out.
Well, and literally, it wasn't like they literally attached hooks or something, chains to the door. I don't know how you do that. It seemed like it was a smooth surface. But that being said, they attached chains to the door and just
They used
a
some of
truck.
that Gorilla Glue.
Clearly, they attach, and then the trucks just rip the door and all the windows, like everything from every window is ripped off with freaking ridiculous ease. Right? It wasn't like they had to
Exactly.
do
They
it a
should have
couple
torn the
times.
transmission out of the truck. I'd
Absolutely.
be like, oh Lord.
Good grief. I mean, what did they use? I mean, fiberglass for those doors and windows, or I mean, it was ridiculous. So
So it's just laziness. It's the idea. I mean, maybe that's all that security. I mean, are they trying to make a bigger statement like the rich people, maybe their fortresses? I mean, someone broke into Dianne Feinstein's house.
that's true. I don't think she had like the steel
I would
slats coming
assume,
down.
as a United States Senator, there would have been some level of security that at least it's supposed to look like. It's like the beware of dog signs when you have no dog. Because if
Right.
you really wanted security, you would want some places where you could stick a gun out if you needed to.
Okay.
You would want to do some medieval stuff. One, you would have a safe room if things went sideways.
Right.
I mean,
A
quite
hidden
frankly,
room.
that's where I would be. I would be in the bunker downstairs,
Yes.
and I would not be listening to all this shit. I would be taking a gummy, and I would put on a happy movie, and I would wake up in the morning. I
That's what
don't
I'm doing
need to
election
be
night this
a
year, by the way.
nervous. What?
That's what I'm doing for election night this year. I don't even want to know. Leave
That's
me out
that's
of it.
that's right. You can note that was the day one of the new founding fathers of the
Of the
purge.
purge. No, you're absolutely right. It would be like put me in a room, with steel doors, lock it up, hide it behind a bookcase, and I'll see you in 12 hours. That's what you'd want,
Yeah.
ideally.
Did you
I
notice that it was so lackadaisical? It was like, oh shoot, lost track of time. Purge starts in 5 minutes. Maybe I better secure the house. with my no carb dinner. I mean, if any night you're going to have carbs, it's going to be purge night. All,
Absolutely.
all carbs. I
I'll
was
have
like,
a
oh.
second helping of bread at that on that night. For
Could you
God's
put some
sakes.
potatoes on my bread?
Well, what did they say? It was like, oh, we'll just, we'll be home watching the Purge festivities on the TV. What the hell with
Festivities.
that? What are you watching? That'd be,
That's like watching the Rodney King riots or
oh
something. To be
God,
like, hey, ain't that fun? I mean, that's what they're watching.
yes,
Mindless violence,
yes,
people walking around killing people,
yes.
a city burning. That's what you're watching for festivities.
Well, and they claim, and I kind of touched on this earlier. They claim it's the catharsis people get from like expending all those negative emotions by doing whatever the hell you want. That's why
Go
crime
work
rates are
out, go to
lower.
therapy.
Right.
Murdering people once a year. This is some Trump science. Many people have told me that if you
People are saying.
people
People
are
are saying.
saying if you murder a person once a year, I mean, there'd be no divorces. You just murder your spouse. The
Basically,
little
that's what it
little
is.
Jimmy Sassbacks at the table. Boink.
One time too many, and that was it.
Exactly. Mommy said I was grounded on purge night. Mommy ain't saying nothing no more.
Basically, I mean, that's the thing about this movie. It's like everybody in it is just, theoretically across the nation, just casual murderers. Just, I would have been killing people every day, all day long, but there's the law. So
There's the
therefore I
law.
won't. If you let me, it's carnage. I can't imagine that would be true in the real world for most people. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like if this was real, that everyone would be forced to dirty their hands.
I
Don't
think
you think?
I think you would. Okay, we can't. Let's
Except
say
for the Politburo, except for the ruling class, which
I
we're doing it every day.
I would think most people wouldn't be able to afford to fortify their houses. So in
Mhm.
that sense, you would get guns or whatever to protect yourself. Okay. But we're not talking about protecting yourself. We're talking about I'm going
Hunting.
out into the world and committing murder upon strangers or not strangers, people
Uh-huh.
who pissed me off,
The dude
or
Colin says he's gonna go kill his boss.
yes, right. And that's what I've been waiting all year to go kill my boss. Good grief.
Everyone's
This
hiding.
movie. This
Everyone's
movie, man.
hiding.
Did you know what this movie was made in 2013, but do you know when it takes place?
22?
2022. March 21st to March 22nd, 2022. So, it's already begun. It's already happening.
Mhm.
I always like
Mhm.
those movies where it's like the near future, where eventually it becomes the near past and then the distant past. So, any other highlights you want to talk about?
All right, let me look over here. I thought, all right, when we first see the other people showing up
Yes.
and killing the Manson family, it was like a black couple.
Well, it was an
I thought
interracial couple. It was an interracial couple. It was a white couple, and then there was one Asian dude.
it looked like what I saw it was the African American woman and the other dude because it was so quick. I thought he was black too. So I thought it was some kind of racial police squad that was
Okay.
like, nah, it's not gonna be all these white people killing the one black dude. Here to even things out. On the 30 Rock, there was it? I forgot. There was like this secret black society that hunted you down if you're an African American who was like cross-dressing or remember all the did
Right.
you ever watch 30? But
Yeah, yeah,
it had
yeah.
a special name, but I in my mind, this is what was happening. They're like, nah, this is all nothing but white people, all and everyone's trying to get the one black dude. So we're here for
Right.
racial equality. So in my mind, that was what was happening.
Right.
And then Yeah, it was a lot of just weird racism vibes, is what I was getting through the whole thing.
Well, because that's interesting, because it's like the homeless dude turns out to be kind of the most normal of the bunch. He's like, I'm just trying to live. I'm
Right.
just trying to live. So when it appears as though when Ethan Hawke's got him tied up to the chair and he's like, look, I'm just trying to save my family. And eventually the homeless guy goes, you know what? Save your family. Just push me
I'm
out.
tired. Just
Just
off.
just just do it. And then of course he shows up at the 11th hour and saves the day. Saves the day.
I mean, honestly, couldn't they just burn this house down?
Sure. Right? I mean, anything goes this stage of the game, right? Absolutely. So
And how did they cut the power? Isn't that all part of your advanced security
you don't have
system?
just big old cables just hanging outside the door. Help yourself. I don't
It's
know. I'm not an
ridiculous.
electrician.
I wrote down that this whole family was lip service liberals. That was my special coin of phrase when I saw
Now,
the shit
why do you
going down.
feel that they were lip service liberals? Based upon what?
Because when it came down to it, they were going to kill the black guy.
Well, they weren't going to kill him, but yes, they were going to allow him to be killed. Right? They
Right.
were going to tie him up and throw him to the home invaders.
Because
That is
your life is
absolutely
just not as valuable. Plus, the whole thing with them just like, well, sure, sure, it's fine. Even though who gets affected? It's the poor people.
true. Right.
Everybody's hunting the homeless. I'm like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No question.
Ethan Hawke shouldn't have been able to move because that son of a bitch got a machete like big enough to clear like sugar canes in Cuba,
Yes.
like all the way through. And he rolls on his side. I'm like, you ain't going nowhere. All your insides will just be blurping out on the table. And you try to roll over with that giant gaping wound, you'll be screaming or passed out. One or
Of
the
course.
other.
Well,
He's like dancing around the room. That was like a 15, it was like this big,
right.
24-inch knife.
It was big.
He sliced from stem to stern all the way through.
Well, it was so bizarre. When the home invaders come in, they are super casual. Like the one dude's walking down the hall with the girl on his shoulders or on his back, and they're kind of dancing and doing their. It's like there are people in this house who probably have guns. Okay,
I felt that they were heavily on drugs.
or just insano. Because then Ethan Hawke turns into
Or
John
both.
Wick for about a minute and a half, where he's just
If
whooping
only. That's what I
whooping
want.
ass.
I want Keanu Reeves to Spider-Man down from the ceiling and just
Do some
handle
shit.
this.
Absolutely. And Ethan Hawke, he kills like 3 or 4 of them by himself before taking the machete right in the gullet. Ah,
And he was just being lazy at that point.
yeah.
And hold on, let those come to you. I'd be setting something up. Let them come to
Right.
you. Don't be
Hide in the
wandering.
bathroom with a shotgun. They come in the
Let's go,
door.
brother. Let's go, brother.
Absolutely.
Come in
That's,
here. I don't know. You
that's
come
how
through the
we do it.
wall. You're gonna leave through hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't give a shit about Ethan or Alina. Although I kept thinking she needs to bust out her mama character and rip off her arms and show her tattoos and get medieval.
Yeah. From Dread is what you're talking about. A movie you did not care for.
I didn't care for it. But she was wearing the same colored hair, so that reminded me of that. Really, the only kid you give a damn about is the weird kid who's probably going to be a serial killer himself anyway, is the little boy with the crazy Toy Story burnt head
Yes.
doll.
It was the scary.
He's on his way to being a serial killer anyway.
Easily. And I thought there was gonna be a callback to the crazy half baby thing on a tank tread that he remote controls. Like it was gonna do something to save something. No, not
No,
really.
no.
And he had a secret little hidey hole that the only thing that was used for is he told the homeless guy to go hide in there, and the younger daughter goes in there and gets captured by the homeless guy at gunpoint for a few minutes. And that's it. So good times. Shall we
So
go
it was
behind the
very
scenes?
no, we ain't done. And then at the end,
Yes.
after they've captured their bullshit neighbors and they
Yep.
decide, no one else is going to die. And that bitchy neighbor goes for the gun, so she like smashes her face, breaking her nose into the
Right.
glass. Did you hear me? No one else. So then what
And
do? Do you just move or do you still
you
live
would
there?
have to. These people are still your neighbors.
Yeah.
They're still your. The next day, they're still alive. You're mostly alive. Ethan Hawke's dead. Now what? Now you can't kill him now. You had your chance. Wait a
You had
year,
your
and they'll be
chance.
like, "No, you have to move. Move
No,
to
what you
Canada."
should have done is shoot them all in their knees.
And then what? What happens then?
Let them live. Let them
Well,
live. Just be
so that they're really
horribly
pissed
in
off at you.
pain. I don't give a shit. Come back. I'll shoot you in the shoulder next year.
Give the homeless guy like room to live with you forever. He could become your new lover.
Dude, didn't you think at the end, she's like, "You good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'd be like, "Dude, you could live here forever. You saved our whole family." She's like, "Deuces, later, skater."
Right. Absolutely. I need a new man
Thanks a
anyway.
lot. Thanks a lot. I mean, we're in the McMansion. I'm sure there's a guest house, a casitas. Have you earned some free room and board or something? Not like deuces, or can I drive you to the emergency room? Something.
Hey, how about that?
Would you like a nap before you scoodle on to the next bridge?
Can I make you a sandwich? Something. How about some no carb greens or grits or whatever the hell they were eating the night before? I'm sure they have
So
leftovers.
How many weeks does it take to clean up all this mess? Do you
All
just
the corpses.
Yeah, do you just drag your loved ones out to the curb for trash day and they just fester there till the government can come and take care of it? Or
Bring
throw
out
them
your
in the
dead.
pool? Bring out your dead.
Absolutely.
Bring out your dead.
I mean, and that's the
Within
thing.
5 minutes, they're like the emergency rooms are all full because they
Of course.
really haven't had time in 10 years to prepare for any of this.
No, it's a thing. Good Lord.
So
This
it
is
was a
madness.
little dumb. It was better than I thought.
Yeah.
But there's just holes you can drive a truck through. A truck with hooks.
A truck, exactly. Shall we go behind the scenes?
Let's do it.
James DeMonico was asked why the film began with a montage of multiple purges taking place outdoors, yet he opted to have all purging occur inside one family's home. He responded, "We only had 19 days to shoot and $2.7 million to work with."
Quite frankly, it looked like it was news footage.
Some of it was. Yeah. But they're just asking, why wasn't it like multiple purges in the plot, is what they're asking. Why is it to focus on one family's purge, essentially?
One step at a time, brother.
He said if he ever got a chance to do a second one, he vowed it would be more like Escape from New York. So there you go.
That's too bad.
According to director James DeMonico, there was a famous road rage incident that happened. It wasn't, there was a road rage incident that happened to him that inspired him to write this. He said his wife and he were driving on the freeway when a drunk driver cut them off. After both cars stopped, the other driver's lack of remorse enraged him so much they got into a fist fight that police eventually had to get involved. And his wife later turned to him and said how great it would be to have one free murder a year. And he felt bad admitting this because she's normally a sweet woman.
Good Lord. You know what would be interesting? A movie about the first Purge.
I think they made one called The First Purge. Yes.
Yeah. So it's probably shit, though, because it's clearly way down the line. It's Purge 97.
Purge 97. You mentioned this. This is true. The homicidal ladies in white dresses were based on Charles Manson's killer's followers.
Clearly.
Yep.
You know what else?
Please.
The lead dude looked like that Canadian version of The Strangers that we saw.
Yes.
That we reviewed. I'm blanking on the name. Is that it? You're next?
I think so. Yeah, right?
The two Canadians in their white outfits who killed the whole family.
Oh,
Tim
no, no, no,
Roth?
no, 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 no.
Tim
That's
Roth.
Funny Games.
Funny Games.
Funny
He
Games,
gave
right.
he gave me the vibe of Funny Games, but he does look an awful lot like that dude who's in all the American Horror Stories, though, too.
See, Evan Peters.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ethan Hawke is an old friend of producer Jason Blum and director James DeMonaco and was happy to appear in The Purge to give their low-budget movie some star power. As usual in Blum's productions, cast and crew work for scale and receive a percentage of the profits, if any. And Hawke reportedly received only $3,000 up front. But due to the movie's worldwide success and back-end profits, he's probably received more money for this film than for any other in his career.
Ooh. I will tell you, the young kids, they love The Purge. And by young kids, I
Absolutely.
mean people in their 30s and early 40s.
Well, they're not kids anymore. Wah, wah, wah. Let's see. The
A couple
actor...
years ago, I knew somebody who that was their Halloween decorations.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Life-size people all around their house.
Reese Wakefield was cast as the polite leader because they were having trouble finding somebody to play that role of like the smiling cult leader character, because most of the actors that they auditioned kind of were way over the top.
Right.
And they liked that he played it cool and like his unsettling smile. They cast him one day before shooting started.
Oh,
Boom.
Lord. Well, he didn't have a lot of lines. Quite
Didn't have a lot
frankly,
of
they
lines.
could have been pasted to the door, so.
That's the way Brando used to do it. Let's talk about the cast and crew, shall we?
Yes.
Ethan Hawke played James Sandin. You know him from such things as Training Day, Before Sunrise.
He was good in Training Day. That movie is chilling.
Absolutely. Before Midnight, Before Sunset. He was in The Explorers 100 years ago. He was in Dead Poets Society. All sorts of good stuff. Lena Headey played Mary Sandin. You know her from such things as The 300. She was in...
Which I never saw.
It was pretty good.
Would I like it? Probably not.
Probably
That's
not.
why I didn't see it.
She was in 63 episodes of Game of Thrones playing
Cersei Lannister. And she was so fucking good in that.
Oh, dynamite.
But I gotta tell you, her movie stuff, I'm not bowled over. I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't know what to do with her, or
They don't.
she's
She's
making
a
wrong
strong
choices.
woman.
But
So what do
she
you
was
do?
dynamite. She's got to make better choices, or she's got to do what some of these chicks do. And I got answers for everybody. Find something and get it produced. Find your own shit.
Good
because
advice.
she's dynamite, but not here necessarily. Or
She
anywhere
played
else.
Lady Catherine de Bourgh in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So you can
I never
check
saw
out.
that. I never saw that.
She was Mama in Dread in 2012.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else
As
in
I
the
was
cast you
saying.
want to know about?
What about the little albino boy? Has he done anything?
The little albino boy. I'm trying to
The
figure
one
out-
who's going to be in Purge 97, but this time he's the killer.
Do you mean the son?
Yes.
Charlie Sandin was Max Burkholder. You know him from such things as Daddy Daycare in 2003.
No.
He was
Oh, yeah, I
in
saw that.
The
I
Purge.
did see that. Yes.
He was in 103 episodes of Parenthood playing Max Braverman.
No, I never saw that shit.
And he
I
was
don't
in
want to be
2006.
depressed by TV.
Through 2006 Friends with Money. There you go, Max Burkholder. Well, let me do the daughter then. Zoe Sandin was played by Adelaide Kane.
By the way,
very
I did
interesting
put down this was like some preteen pornography. There was way too much close-up grinding with her lifting her hips up. I was like, what the
That is true, but like you said, she was 25 at the time and actually a year older than the guy playing her 18-year-old boyfriend.
I believe it.
You know her from The Purge in 2013. She was in 46 episodes of Neighbors. Do you know what
The
Neighbors
British,
is?
the British soap opera,
I think
or
it's the Australian
soap
soap opera. Yep.
How about this? Neighbors, everybody needs good neighbors.
They
That's a
do.
theme
It's
song.
true. She was also in 32 episodes of Power Rangers RPM. There you go. And 78 episodes playing Mary Stewart of the TV series Reign. Reign. So there you go.
Oh, that's on right now.
Yep.
If she's a Power Ranger, I would have expected some better fighting. Go Power Rangers! I want her to come out with a pink suit. Ding!
I agree.
Fight
I
the
agree.
Purge.
Do you want to know anybody else from the cast?
No, there's nobody else we need to know.
Very sad. Let's go to the ratings, shall we? The Purge, currently on Rotten Tomatoes, 41%. Do you know what the audience gave it?
72.
36.
Ha!
Wah,
Which is
wah.
interesting because it is so popular.
It is very popular. Again, it did very, very well at the box office, and it spawned multiple sequels that are still going on to this very day.
It could have been It's Alive versus The Purge.
Absolutely.
It could have been Swap Thing versus The Purge.
Swap Thing? Let's talk
It
about
could be Clash of the Titans versus The Purge. Could be
why
many
not?
things.
Let's do top critics, shall we?
Are there some?
There are. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone says,
Sweet of Jesus. Yes.
Too bad the film devolves into a series of home invasion cliches. The Purge was almost onto something. 2 out of 4. Very upsetting.
I mean, I don't disagree. It's like it wants to say something, but is not sure how to say it. It can't decide if it wants to be political, socio, whatever commentary, or just a slasher. It's like,
well, here's an interesting thing you say.
Yes.
Rex Reed from The Observer says,
I love Rex Reed.
DeMonico clearly hopes to make a significant moral statement on the level of Shirley Jackson's literary masterpiece, The Lottery. Alas, his aim at political conservatives who support the gun lobby falls flat before he can pull the trigger. 1 out of 4.
Well, I'm not that harsh. But he's not right. Rex Reed ain't ever wrong.
He's from God's mouth to Rex Reed's ear. No question. I don't know if that's a saying. I may have just made that up.
It is now.
It is now.
Copyright it. Put it on
Absolutely.
X. Elon Musk will retweet it.
No question.
But I think you have to put something anti-Semitic, and then he'll retweet it.
Then he'll retweet it. Aaron, what is your rating of The Purge?
I'm very ambivalent, so it's going to get my ever classic ambivalent 3, I guess. I'm going to give you 3. Who would have thought the boyfriend was going to kill the dad? Who'd have thunk it?
Everybody.
Out of 5. Yeah.
It's interesting because I could rent The Purge for $3.99 or buy The Purge for $6.99. And do you know what I chose?
You rented it.
No, I bought it. I thought about it. I was like, what do I do? Because I'd never seen it before. So it's one of those things where it's like, do I roll the dice? I rolled the dice. I don't see.
Speaking as someone who spent $21 to buy the Cyrano de Bergerac with Tyrion Lannister, who has never seen a bad version of that until she spent $21.
That'll do it.
Don't buy the unknown.
It's the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death. I'm going to give it 2.5. Crazy smiling, Manson family members. I don't know why were they wearing masks? If it's legal to kill everybody, you don't have to wear a mask. But that's neither here nor there.
Just to be a weirdo. Just to be a weirdo.
I did not hate it.
Just so you don't know it's your paper boy.
Right. Pretty much. It makes sense. Their neighbors should have worn masks.
I mean,
no,
it's so ridiculous. Wouldn't you just poison your neighbors throughout the rest of the year? Here's some more cookies.
But that's a crime. That's a
And-
crime. On
And
the Purge, not
it's
a
only
crime.
a crime if they catch you.
Pretty much. It's a sad situation. It was not bad. It was not bad. There were no
It was
surprises.
better than I thought. I thought
Better
it was
than-
going to be. I just thought it was going to be wretchedly gory.
And it wasn't. It's not. It's really not that violent in spite of it all.
No.
It's typical movie.
It's a little bland, yeah.
Typical movie. Like some people get shot, some people get stabbed, but it isn't upsetting or disturbing the way you think it could be.
This footage was the most upsetting part of the whole movie
Because it looked real.
Not
I
the
think some of it
actors,
was.
It looked real. The
Right.
rest of it doesn't look real. And then I was thinking, how are they going to use real footage of real people? Would you sue? How do you
Get
don't
their
know.
permission,
I
I
don't know.
guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But
But
there was.
of my son getting shot for your movie.
It's a movie that kind of aspires to those conversations like, what would I do if I was in that situation? But those conversations don't last very long, honestly.
Well, because
And
honestly, you would leave the country, wouldn't you?
Right.
You'd be like,
You
you'd
would.
be refugee in Canada. I'm like, I'm not living
I'm
here.
not doing that. I'm
You,
not doing that.
USA, if this is what's happening,
Right.
outie.
Well, and like I said, there's really not a lot of surprises. You know what I mean? You knew the boyfriend was going to take a shot at the dad, even though he said he was just going to talk to him. You knew when the neighbors came over, they weren't there to help. They weren't there to
Right.
save the day. You know, and of course the homeless guy is the good guy. So, I mean, is that a
But it was like
surprise?
it was very Bond villainous. I gotta spend 20 minutes telling you what I'm gonna do before I do it, which gives you an opportunity to kick my ass.
Right. I
Why
want
don't-
sea
like-
bass with lasers.
I shoot the Manson family and then just turn the gun and shoot you while you're thanking me. But
Right.
It has to be like a star chamber. There has to be a discussion and judgment. If you want to kill him, just fucking kill him.
Well, and there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that where it's like the killers, the home invaders were way too casual. But like you said, were
Like
they
they do it
crazy?
every
Were they
day.
on drugs? Because the one moment is it's like the leader of the home invaders just murders his buddy for interrupting him, which seems weird.
But
It's an overreaction.
Haven't you had those friends?
It's a look. He was an asshole.
He was an asshole.
So-
But the neighbors were way too casual.
Yes, everybody was way too casual. No one had any tension except for this family, basically.
Yeah.
So, who's to say? So, thank you very much. Go to our pages across frickin' social media. We are on X, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads. You may be watching us on YouTube as we speak. You can also email us, the podcast that wouldn't die at
Gmail.
We are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So don't forget to like, share, rate, and review. Won't you?
Won't you please?
Aaron, what is your social media situation?
Artsy and First Dibs. I have some Polaroid stuff. Buy it. I'll get
Interesting.
50% of it. I'm on Instagram. I'm the Cult of Aaron. Join the cult. I am, in fact, a cult leader. I'm going to try eventually for, tax exempt status. So let's see.
There you go. That's all you need.
Scientology can do it. Why not me?
Why not? Indeed. Now, as you guys know, we like to include comments, questions from our friends across the interwebs. So let's take a look, shall we? Our buddy Leo Allen Jr., commenting on our episode, Robot Jocks.
Oh, Jesus.
I never watched this, but,
Nor will I.
but remember that it exists. Also, I seem to remember that there were plans to make a video game. Or was that just some fever dream? LOL. Great episode, guys. Leo, we love you. We love you. And Leo will be a guest on our show in the near future. So look forward to that as well. So good times.
I am looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Next week, we're discussing the...
Wait,
What?
nothing about the immortal classic about the mermaid in the swimming pool? There's nothing more of that genius film?
I'm sure there is, but this is what I prepared to mention. I'm not going to... Hang on, let me see what I can find.
Let me find something.
On the last episode, I threw 2 Lady in the Water mentions for you. So there you go.
I want to go watch it again.
That makes one of us. Next week, we're discussing the horror classic Monkey Shines, about a guy who's paralyzed and a little crazy monkey takes care of him. So you have that to look forward to. If you want to watch it.
I've never seen it. I hope there's a little bit of nope about it. Is there a monkey that goes rogue and eats your lips and fingertips?
It's not a chimp. It's a little monkey. But it's an evil monkey. Spoiler alert, there's an evil monkey on the case. I don't know if there's nibbling on lips or anything.
Like Lancelot Link's secret chimp?
It's not an orangutan with peanut butter in his mouth, although that would be amazing. If you want to watch Monkey Shines, that would be Ape Shines, which isn't even a saying. So, Monkey Shines.
Mind growth. It's not a thing yet.
If you want to watch Monkey Shines, you can watch it on Roku, Tubi, Pluto TV, Freevee, all for free if you don't mind a few ads, the way the director intended, which I think the director, unless I'm crazy, is George Romero. So there you go. So buckle up. I may be crazy. Is this
a Stephen King book?
No. Seems like it should be, though.
Because Stephen King does have a book with a monkey on the cover.
The cover of the Skeleton Crew compilation had a monkey, like a organ grinder kind of situation. If you insist, if you insist on seeing this movie without ads, you can pay $3.99 on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, or Vudu. So there you go. So
you are correct. It is George Romero.
Boom! And I think a young Stanley Tucci is in this. Not in a main role.
Jacked as ever.
Yes! I mean, we talked about how bizarre it is that Jeff Goldblum is suddenly jacked. Stanley Tucci is jacked from jump. Never had hair, never had a lick of hair, but always had, you could wash your drawers on his abs. I mean, they are rock solid.
He is smooth like a seal and jacked.
And
There's
jacked.
Nothing but just sinew and bone. That's all there is.
You think he's just that guy from The Devil Wears Prada. He is that guy, but he's also jacked. Okay? Boom. Anyway, send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions about Monkey Shines. And we may talk about it on the show.
He would be an intense motherfucker to be married to.
He's married to somebody.
He's married to somebody's sister.
Yeah, somebody's sister. And I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
British. I think it's from the vampire thing where they all fell and then they bounced back up. Remember those movies?
I have no idea what
everybody had this weird slow motion drop where they collapse and pop back up.
Okay. I'm going to look up Stanley Tucci's wife. We're trying to wrap up the show, but we're doing this now.
We have to look up. No, it's that chick who played the vampire.
You keep saying bouncing up off the floor. I don't know what the hell
guy
you're
who
talking
played
about.
Tony Blair played a werewolf.
Felicity Blunt, who is Emma Blunt's sister from The Devil Wears Prada.
That's not who Emma Blunt. Yeah, no, that's not who I was thinking of.
Okay,
I can't think of the lady vampire movie with the guy.
So John Krasinski hangs out with Tucci on holidays and things because the Blunt sisters hang out. So there you have it. So thank you very much and be well.
Bye.